Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. In this video, I'm going to do an update of what is kind of happening with me through this treatment and through this current lymphoma experience, because there's kind of a lot happening and things are happening relatively quick. Before I begin, please hit subscribe below and hit the bell for notifications, and please stop by internalarchitect.com and take a look at all the different posts and stuff that I'm doing there too. So what is going on? Like, what is happening next? And I'm going to kind of do a quick gist over what I see kind of happening for the next 3 to 4 months. Now, the first thing is we need to get a biopsy done. And it just so happens that yesterday I went in and we had a biopsy taken of a lymph node underneath my armpit. So I'm actually a little bit sore at the moment, but went in there. I actually went to the Shaw Cancer Center's breast division, which is the Sun and Out breast area. So this is where the ladies do all the breast testing and diagnosis for breast cancer too. But it just so happens that it's lymphoma, and where I have some lymph nodes is kind of I guess my chest area, kind of just below my my collarbone there. And so that was the first thing we did. Went in yesterday. I ended up getting a call yesterday just before lunch saying, "Hey, can you come over? We'd like to do a little bit of ultrasound to see what there is." And so I was like, "Sure." So I go over there, and they're like, "Yeah, and we're going to do a biopsy today too." And I'm like, okay, totally unexpected, and which is fine. With this coronavirus thing happening, they're only spending one day really doing any sort of biopsies or whatever during the week, because just they're really trying to keep the coronavirus side down at the Edwards Cancer Center. So yeah, I went over there yesterday. We found a good lymph node and took some biopsies of it, and so I'm a little bit sore today, which is fine. But that was the first thing that we needed to do, because we need to make sure, be 100% sure that I'm still dealing with the same Hodgkin's as I was essentially a few months ago. So there's anything could happen. I don't know what could happen, but I did go through 23 rounds of radiation, and that just, who knows? Radiation's a crazy thing. Maybe it morphed, who knows? So that's why the biopsy happened, because we want to make sure, because the treatment moving forward is going to be really important, as long as it's the same lymphoma, same Hodgkin's, because I have a very classic case of Hodgkin's, to let the treatment do what it's going to do. So that's kind of that is the first thing, is we had to get the biopsy done to make sure that is what's happening. The second thing that we're going to do is, now say the biopsy pathology comes back and we're able to tell that it is the same, then we can start kind of doing the treatment assessment and figuring out exactly what the treatment's going to be. Now, from just some of the conversations I've had, the discussions for treatment are going to be some immunotherapy, and I don't know anything about this. I'm just starting to learn a little bit about this, so I'll fill you guys in as I learn more about this also. But the thought is to start immunotherapy. Hopefully we can kind of get this thing to shrink that way, if that's what immunotherapy can do. Or then if it doesn't work and it continues to grow, then we'll look at possibly doing an allogenic transplant, stem cell transplant in the future, and that still might be on the table. I don't know. I've done a lot of pre-work up to this point, making sure that if it does go that way, that I have a donor and we can make it all work. And that's fortunately where my brother comes in, because he did the typing, and it just so happens that he's a 10 for 10 match for doing the transplant. So that's great news, and that's pretty relieving knowing that. So, and then the third thing is just starting the treatment. So after the assessment, we get it all figured out, and then it's just starting the treatment and starting to hit it again. Don't know how that's going to affect me. I don't know how it's going to work, but that's essentially what is going to happen. We'll start treatment. I'll go for probably 2-3 months, and then we'll do a PET scan at either 3 or 4 months. I don't know quite yet, but that's kind of what it's looking like at this point, and that'll help give an idea of where the lymphoma is at and if the treatment is working, and if we have to adjust at that point, we will. And then that's the fourth thing is at 3 to 4 months, we'll do another PET scan that'll do the assessment of where my lymphoma is at after this next course of treatment. So we're not 100%, again, not 100% sure, but that's kind of what it's looking like. And then, depending on how that result comes back, then we'll start talking about the long term, and that's kind of the fifth thing is what is going to happen long term. If it works, sweet. If the side effects aren't too bad, great. But is the stem cell transplant still on the table? I had, with my autologist, so my own stem cell, and that transplant that we did, I ended up, being in remission for almost 9 years. So that worked really well in that regard. So, do we look at that side of it as a long-term goal? I don't know yet. That's all stuff that's going to be kind of happening and coming up. But at this point, I'm doing pretty good. Definitely ready for bike season. Just want to try to be active, want to try to keep doing this. I'm kind of on a little bit of work hiatus for a while to deal with coronavirus, since I'm at the higher risk of everything happening right now. So that's where things are at the moment. I should have the results for the pathology hopefully by the end of the week, and very possible the start of next week will be the start of treatment, and we'll just go from there. So I'm just kind of at a point where I just want to kind of get this get the show on the road and really kind of get through this, because I don't know, after 4 months of waiting to find out if the radiation worked or not, and seeing that it didn't, it's like, okay, well, let's just kind of get on to this next session. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. That's where things are at the moment, and just working through the soreness of a lymph node biopsy that I had done yesterday. So yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time and energy into watching the videos, and if you have any comments, please hit me in the comment section below, and I will respond to them as soon as I can. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.